Okay, so in the second video, I'll be running through a basic game, be like a tutorial for Crazy Robot Factory. So this will be the solitaire version, the game that we originally set up in the previous video. And I'm going to run through a few turns just to give you an idea of how the game plays and the mechanics. So here we have our game set up. We're ready to start programming our factory floor robots. We have our factory assembly arm ready to go, and all of our random conveyor belts to choose from. So, a couple things in the rules. You, per turn, you start, and on the first turn, for the beginner game, you only program 3 actions at a time. And the way I've created this game for levels, you can play in 3 different types of levels. You can play beginner, novice, or expert. Or beginner, advanced, and expert. And the way those work is, for the beginner game, you'll only program both robots up to the first 3 per phase. If you're playing the advanced, you have to program up to 6 actions at a time. And if you play at the expert level, you have to program all 9 actions at one time. It makes it much more difficult because you have 2 robots moving at the same time, and you're trying to program everything out without your robots running into each other, picking up conveyor belts and running them into each other. There's just so much you have to think ahead. You kind of think of it as a chess game where you're moving so many moves ahead, or you're thinking so many moves ahead, and trying to know which pieces to take, which ones, to not get captured. And that's how this game works. Is, it can be a lot of AP if you can't think ahead. You got to be able to visualize where things are going to be at 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 moves ahead. So yeah, for a very challenging game, you play at the expert level and you have to program all 9 actions at one time. So for both robots. But in this game, I'm going to be doing the beginner level. I'm going to show you the tutorial of how this game plays. We'll be doing 3 actions at a time. So let's get started. So we know that we've got our yellow widgets, and we need to get these processed over to this first robot, assembly robot. So we got to create a path, and we got to get something up to this start conveyor belt as soon as possible. So we have our 2 factory floor robots. And like I said, these can start anywhere on this border, but once they're in the factory floor, they have to stay within the factory floor. Nothing can move out of this gray area or beyond that hazard line. So let's see. So we got to get something up close, and usually we like to get some straight ones, but you can use any of these to form a path. So, and remember, you can't move conveyor belts into each other once they've been picked up. So let's do this. We're going to move this guy. We're going to pick up these 2 and move them over. And I'll show you how that works. So we'll start the orange robot here, the blue robot here. And our plan in our head is we're going to move these 2 conveyor belts over here, which in turn will put this straight here. So we'll program the orange robot first, and you can program them in any order you want, but they have to move one after each other. Okay? So the orange one, we will move up 1. So we'll put a cube here. We'll move on. So basically you're going to move underneath this conveyor belt. We're going to pick it up. So we put a cube on a pickup for the second action, and then we are going to move it to the left. So put a cube here. So that's the orange robot's action. For the blue one, same thing. We're going to move up. We're going to pick up the conveyor belt, and we're going to move to the left. And we know that these won't run into each other because we know that they're going to be moving together. So we've got our first 3 actions programmed. Let's run through that first program. So we take the first code, and they're both moving up. So we can move the orange one, then we move the blue one. Then we do from top to bottom, the next action. They're both picking up. So both of these will be placed on top of the robots. So that means they've picked up those conveyor belts. Next, they both move to the left. So we move the orange one first, and then we move the blue one. Okay? So that's the first three actions the robots have taken. Now we get to this robot arm. And we look at our slot 1 and we have a straight conveyor belt. Okay, so we need to put that somewhere that'll have a good effect. And if we look right here, a straight conveyor belt in this direction, which works out perfect, is great for this yellow pickup. So, hey, saves us time. We don't even have to rotate it. Place that there. All these others shift. And we draw a new one. Draw it out. Place it as you draw it. Okay. So now we program our next three actions. So we still want to move these over. So we're going to still program a move left and a move left. So that means they're going to move and they'll be where we want them. So now we can drop them or release them. So we will both have both robots release their conveyor belts. So now they're going to be moved, released, and now we want to move our robots somewhere else so they can do some good. Which means we want to move them here. We'll just basically move them both up and they'll be underneath the next conveyor belt. Okay, so our actions are going to be move, release, and then move. So let's perform those actions. We'll start with the red, and we'll start with the orange. Actually, it's going to be bottom to top. So we'll move, and we'll move, and then the next action is release. So we will release these. Place them on top. And even though they're on top, make sure you keep this robot orientation. Even when you rotate a conveyor belt, you can always put it back into the same orientation so it's easier to follow. Now, whenever a robot's on top of the conveyor belt, that means you can think of it as it's moving around underneath, even though it's sitting on top. So then the last action is going to be to move up. So we move him up, and we move him up. So great, so now we're set so far. We won't lose our first widget, and this widget will go onto this next conveyor belt. But we have to figure out what to do with this guy. And a pretty simple thing is just rotate it. Keep it in the path. We want to get over to here. So one method would be to get this out of here and move us straight here. So we can do that. That's kind of a plan. Alright. So now we're on the arm phase. Now we have this type of conveyor belt. Let's see. We can take this one, hold it in the same orientation. Where can we put him? Let's see, so we know we have to take an orange, and once the yellow is processed, it will come out here. And we have to get up here. So let's do this. And we'll put it here for right now. Shift these. Draw a new one. Alright. So for our next action, we want the blue to pick up. Alright, so we will do a pick up. We're going to do a rotate. And then we'll do a release. And for the orange, we want to get this guy to here. So we will go move up, move left, pick up. So let's move up, move left, pick up. Now we know these aren't going to hit each other because this guy's going to stay here and this one's going to move. So if we perform these actions, we go move up. This guy does a pick up. And remember, when they do pick up, they go underneath. And this guy moves left. And he does a rotate. And we want this to rotate like that. Now, whenever you do a rotate action, you can rotate 270 degrees, 360 degrees, it doesn't matter. You have the full range of rotation. It's not just one quarter turn. So rotation is any amount of rotation you need. So we got him now in the right orientation, and this guy will release, and this guy's going to pick it up. So remember, pick up, put it underneath. When you release, put it back on top. Okay. So, I guess I could have picked up him, I just didn't even realize it. So, now, that's the first turn. We've gone through all 9 actions. That means the conveyor belt moves. So, it processes the first widget, and then the next one gets fed into the start. So as you see, think of all the conveyor belts are moving, but these are the ones that have widgets, so they're the ones that move. They're the only ones that move, where you see moving. So we've moved our widgets, and now we take all of our programming code, cubes, brought them back over underneath the robot. And then we're on turn 1. Well, we finished turn 1. So now start programming again. So we know that this guy is going to move over here. We want to get this one out of the way. So we know we want to move to the right. We want to pick up. And then we want to move. And we can move him. We don't want to get him stuck, because if I move him down, he'll get stuck once this guy moves here. You want to be able to get these things out of here, so let's move him up. Alright, so he's going to move, pick up, and move up. Now we got to remember too that this guy's moving. We want him over here, so we can't just go move, 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 because boom, they're going to run into each other. So what we have to do is we do a left move again, and then we do a pause. So he'll go move, move, and pause to keep from running into that guy. So let's run through the actions. We've done our first 3. So now we know that this one moves here. This guy moves here. This one does a pickup. And this one does a move. This one does a move. And then that one does a pause. Okay, so we've done that programming code. And we're on our robot arm. So we look at this guy. Where can we place him? And these guys work together when there's another angle turn, or when you can put them next to a straight. So let's see here. We'll put them here because these two can rotate and work together. Alright, so we shift these. Draw another random one. And go on to our next coding action. So we've got to get him out of the way, so we'll move him up. So we'll program to move up. We'll program this guy to move left. And we'll drop. We'll drop. This guy will do a release. And this guy will go down. So now he's here, and then this one will do a release. And this one will move. Let's see, move here. We'll move it here, so we'll move left. Okay, so we got our next 6 actions. So let's walk through this program. So first one we got is this moves up, and this guy moves right. Then we have this guy release, and then this guy move down. Alright, and then this guy does a move to the right, and this guy does a release. Whoops. I'll have to fix that because I forgot that I got to rotate it first. But that's okay. I can pick it back up and rotate. Alright. So, now we have the arm again. So we're going to take this arm, and this is great. So we're going to put this arm, or this conveyor belt, straight conveyor belt, right there, where it doesn't pick up. That helps a lot. Let's rotate these. Pick up new one. And we do our next 3 programming. So we forgot, so we're going to have to do a pick up and a rotate, and then we'll do a release. This guy needs to come down here, so because he wants to rotate that one too. So we'll do a down, down, and a pick up. Alright, so we'll run through the actions. So this guy, he did a pick up, a down, he did a rotate, he does a down, then he does a release, and he does a pickup. So now we've got it in the right orientation. So once we've done those 9, all the conveyor belts start moving again. Put a new one up. Alright, so we're trying to get him over here, and he'll process, and then we're going to try and get over here. Okay, so we've moved our widgets. We take all our programming codes back off. Go to our next turn. And we're in the programming phase again. Okay, so this guy's good. He can move off, start assigning conveyor belts here. Now remember, you can only grab from a straight and drop off to a straight. You can't do these corners. So I can get over here and grab one of these and put them over here. So let's get this guy over to this one. So we will do, remember, you can't move robot no, so this guy's going to have to move down, over, over. Alright, so we'll program the orange to go down, to the right, and to the right. Now this guy, we need to perform our rotate, then we can do a release. And we need let's see if we can do let's get this guy out of the way to help to move there. So we'll do a release and we'll move to the right. Alright, so we've got our first 3 programs coded in. We'll run through those programs. So we do first the orange, which is move down. This guy does a rotate. So now that's in the right direction. See how it's following? You gotta follow the arrows. And then we do to the right. This guy does a release. Remember, when you do release, you put it back on top. And then you do it to the right. And then to the right. Okay, that's the first 3. Now we have the robot arm. Okay. And we know we're going to be coming out of here. So let's put this guy here. We will rotate it once the straight hits it. That's going to be nice and straight. Remember, this is the beginner game, so you have a lot of easy possibilities since you're only doing 2 assembly robots with 1 part each. Now we next program. So we know that this guy, these are all correct, but we got to get one there. So he's going to move him out of the way, and this guy will move him up. So we want to program them both to the right, right, to the right. They will both pick up, and this guy will move to the right, and this guy will move up. Alright, so let's run through the programming. So we both move to the right. They both pick up. And they both move to, well, this guy moves to the right, while this guy moves up. Alright, so then we do the arm again. Now this guy could have been put there, but I think I'm going to put him, let's see, right here. Because this is going to rotate, he'll rotate, and we'll do this in the process. Alright, so we slide these, set up a new one, and we program our last are the 7, 8, 9 programming actions before the conveyor belt moves. So we know that we need to move him, and that's the orange guy, so we'll move him up. And we also know we need to rotate, and then we need to release, or this guy needs to, let's see, we'll just leave him there, so we'll just release that one. Let's get up into this group. So we'll go up and up. Okay, so before the conveyor belt moves, we will move him up. This guy does a release. We will rotate. So now we've got a conveyor belt that it can actually process to. This guy will move up, and this guy will release, and he will move up. Alright, so now what I gotta do, so now we've got this perfect process for this first assembly robot. So we're good here. Alright, now this guy's got to get some rearranging with these. So we know we're going to be coming up, so we'll rearrange him first. So we've finished the 9. We continue on with our conveyor belt. Clear out our programming processes. Go to the next turn. I'll do one more real quick. So this guy's really, so we're going to have him move here and this guy move here. So they're going to be some rotating. So we got this guy going to the left. Alright. We don't want to move him up yet, so we'll pause him. Then we got to go to the right again and do a pickup. And then this guy will go up and pick up. Okay? So we've got move, pause, move, move, pick up, pick up. Now we need to do some rotating, so the orange we know we want to rotate. So perform prot, and then we know we want this guy to rotate. So we perform rotate, and then we both do releases, release, and I need to get, oh, before I do that I got to place this guy. So we'll place him right here, because we're going to have rotate. Sorry, I missed that arm function. And then the last one, let's see here, so it's going to rotate, rotate, we'll release, release, and then we're going to move them both over to the left. So move left, move left. Alright, so let's perform these actions. We got a rotate and a rotate. Oops. So I got to rotate and rotate. And then we're going to release. Release. And release. And then left and left. So left and left. Alright. And we got another arm action. So we've got this guy. Let's see here. can't put him there because it doesn't do that turn. But we can't put it here because we're going to rotate it so it goes out here. Because if we've got to pick it up here, drop it off the street, we've got to get that out. So we shift these. All right. Now, these are in the right spot. Alright, so for the last three, I know that he's going to rotate this guy, and this guy's going to move and get to him here. So we'll do a pickup. Blue will do a pickup, a rotate, and a release. This one guy will do a move up, and we'll do a pickup, and he will do a move to the left. Alright. So let's perform these. So the first guy does a pickup, he does a move, this guy does a rotate, see the path, this guy does a pickup, and once he does his rotate, he does a release, and then this guy does a move. Alright, so we've done our 9th action, and we will now move the conveyor belt. So far, the conveyor belt's looking good. We know that it'll get picked up, so we're looking good on this path, so we know that we have to get up to here somehow, and then back over to here. So basically, then we've done another turn. So that's how it works. That's Crazy Robot Factory. Is you really have to think about laying down the conveyor belts, getting them in the right position, rotating them into they're in the right path, and then complete these paths so you can process your widgets and make your final widget or robot part and get it to the completed zone. And try and do it as little amount of turns as possible, and don't let your widgets fall off. And I know you think, oh, it's going to fall off, but no. This robot will grab it, process it, and then place it. Don't need a turn there because it'll never hit this zone. But in this case you do, because once it drops it off and has processed it, it's on its way to the next assembly robot. And for the tougher, the more intense games, there's robots that can process, they need 2 widgets to produce a new widget, or they need 3 widgets to produce a new one. So that what happens is you have multiple assembly robots, multiple tracks, taking multiple widgets. You have to find them, get them to this specific assembly robot, let them process them, get these new ones processed to know it. I think there's this huge amount of playability, there's randomness to it, that it's a different game every time. So I just think I'm hoping people will really enjoy it and see that if you need a good strategy thinker game, this is definitely it. So this is my game, Crazy Robot Factory, and I hope you play it and enjoy it. And if you have any questions, just please let me know.